the presidential garden where flowers swayed quietly in the breeze, a man stood with a gun, aimed at the back of President Ibrahim Traoré's head. The president didn't know. He was kneeling on the grass alone, praying to start his day. No guards, no cameras, just him and the morning peace. But peace was not what the man behind him came for. He came to end the revolution in one silent shot. He had waited all night, hidden, in the garden, wearing the uniform of a palace gardener, but he was no gardener. His name was Daniel Kane, and he wasn't from Burkina Faso. He was an American, but not just any American, a trained spy, a field agent working under false identity, and he wasn't working alone. He had been sent by President Alassane Ouattara of Côte d'Ivoire with full support from foreign powers, including certain interests in Washington and Paris. This is how we stop the spread of his revolution, they told him. One clean shot, and it's over. But things didn't go as planned, because just as Daniel pulled the safety off his silenced pistol, President Traoré whispered something without turning around. "You traveled a long way to die here, didn't you?" Daniel froze. How did he know? Before he could think, the grass around him moved. And then, in one lightning-fast moment, Traoré spun around, kicked the gun from Daniel's hand, and tackled him to the ground. Daniel was trained for hand-to-hand combat. But what he didn't expect was Traoré had trained in Russia, Cuba, and the Sahel. His style was raw, fast, unpredictable, and worse. Traoré didn't flinch, not even once. Within seconds, the assassin was pinned down, both arms locked behind his back. That's when the guards finally rushed in. Traoré looked at them calmly and said, "No one shoots. He's not just a hitman. He's a message, and I want to hear it straight from his mouth." Daniel was dragged into a private bunker below the palace. The room was dark, made of stone, with a single chair in the middle. They sat him down, handcuffed and sweating. Traoré entered the room alone. No bodyguards, no guns, just him holding a small cup of tea. He placed it on the table. "Let's talk," he said. "Where are you from?" Daniel looked up, eyes cold. "You already know. Say it anyway," Traoré replied. "Say it on record." Daniel hesitated, then smiled. "I'm from Langley. I work for the agency, and yes, I was sent here, directed us from Washington. But the plan came from Abidjan. Ouattara signed off on it himself." The room fell silent. Traoré sat back. "Why would Côte d'Ivoire want Magone?" Daniel smirked. "You're turning the region upside down, throwing out the French, welcoming the Russians. You become too powerful and worse, too popular. You were never supposed to last this long." Then came the twist. Daniel leaned in and said, "You think I'm the only one? Look around you, Tay. You're surrounded by smiles, but half of them were bought. Someone inside your palace gave me the gate code, and guess what? They're meeting tonight to plan the second attempt." Traoré stood up slowly. His voice was calm, but his eyes burned. "Then I guess I'll have to attend that meeting myself." Daniel laughed. "They'll know it's a trap." Traoré smiled. "So will I." That night, the palace looked peaceful. The guards stood at their posts. Lights were on, doors closed, curtains drawn. Everything seemed normal, but inside their war had already begun, because President Traoré was no longer in his room. He had changed into a soldier's uniform, put on a cap, and covered his face with a scarf. Only 3 people in the palace knew where he was. He wasn't running. He was going undercover. Earlier that evening, after the captured spy, Daniel revealed the truth, that someone from inside the palace had given him the gate code. Traoré made a quiet decision. "Let them think I'm asleep. Let them think I'm afraid. I'll walk into their meeting and look my enemy in the eye." At exactly 11:37 p.m., inside a small storage room beneath the kitchen, 7 men gathered. Some were soldiers. One was a government aide, and one wore a white coat, a palace doctor. They spoke in low voices. One of them took out a tablet and read a short message. "Plan Ivory Flame. Phase 2. The backup team is ready." The youngest one, a soldier named Lieutenant Beau, asked nervously, "What if Traoré finds out?" The man in the white coat replied, "He won't. He's probably dead by now. The Americans said the poison would take time. Everyone nodded. They didn't know. Traoré was already standing behind the wall listening. He had hidden a small microphone earlier in the room, but now he wanted faces. He pushed the door open slowly, walked in, and stood at the back. Quiet. They didn't recognize him in the soldier's uniform, not until he spoke. "You talk like men," Traoré said, "but plot like rats." They all froze. One of them reached for his gun, but Traoré already had his out. "Move, and I'll end this meeting myself." The doctor stuttered. How did you? "You poisoned my tea," Traoré said. "But I never drank it. You sent a man from America, but he talked. And now you plan to light ivory flame. Then let me be the first to pour water on it." Suddenly a loud knock echoed down the hallway. The door swung open. Red Lions, Traoré's elite secret force flooded in. No one escaped. The traitors were dragged out one by one, shocked, silent, broken. But as the last man was taken away, the doctor whispered, "Something you don't understand. What a raisin done. You stopped the spy, but you missed the snake." Traoré leaned closer. "Who?" The doctor smiled weakly. "There's another one higher than me, close to you, and he is already moving." Traoré stepped back, face calm, but heart racing. "Then we stop him before Hess strikes. Because whoever this snake was, he wasn't just